Wrestling podcast never felt this great. Tables, ladders, chairs, they tell it all. From the highest highs to the lowest fall. Grit and glory tales from the ring. Every chant, every cheer they'll bring. Devon and Duke bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never felt this great.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back. Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Devon and the Duke podcast. This is a limited edition series hosted by your main man, Duke Loves Rasslin, and of course, the five-time Hall of Famer himself, the man who is a YouTube sensation across the nation, Mr. Devon Dudley. What's going on there, Devon?
What's going on, man? Hey, I don't know about the YouTube sensation. Not yet. It's getting there. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Listen, most people can't just relaunch a channel and have the kind of traction that you've been getting, man. Come on now. Don't be humble. Speaking of that, congratulations. Now, we're what? At least 2 episodes in a row where you've gone viral. And from last week's episode, you went viral on 2 separate topics. The first one was Dixie Carter and burying the hatchet with her. That through the roof. Everybody covered that. And then also what you said about Stephanie McMahon. So I don't know, man. You just can't seem to stay out of the dirt sheets these days, huh?
Well, the whole thing with Dixie, I mean, there was no secret. I mentioned that months ago, and how it got resurfaced again was, to that point was beyond me. In other words, I had said before I had saw Dixie that, things happen for a reason, and it builds your character when there's things against you in life. And when you can get past that adversity and move on and become better from it, that means that God put that in your life for a reason. And it bettered you. And I just felt that it bettered me. I might not have understood it at the time, but, now looking back at it, it bettered me. So wasn't too, angry or upset about that anymore at that point. And it was great to see Dixie and to be able to, talk and laugh and communicate and talk a little bit about the old times. It was great to do that. And then the whole thing with Stephanie McMahon. I mean, come on, guys, really? You guys, the dirt sheets really wanted to reprint this crap again? For what? What are you going to get out of it? It's not like I'm going to sit here and make a mistake and say something stupid again. I mean, God, I had back surgery and this and that, and I had a stroke and this and that. I use my words a little differently. Come on, man. But write something else. Talk about something else more interesting than me messing up a word that I shouldn't have used when referring to Stephanie McMahon in terms of my appreciation for it. Come on, guys, stop. Enough with this already. But I'm sure Stephanie and Triple H and anybody else in that company, if they saw it on your dirt sheet or skimmed by, I'm like, okay, no stupid shit that happened 3 years ago and you're still talking about it. Come on. That's why we call you guys the National Enquirer, because you keep harvesting over crap that doesn't even matter anymore. So, I mean, come on, seriously. Is that the only way you can get people to look at your story is to say, oh, well, Devon said that he used the word infatuation as opposed to admired. Come on, man. Come on. Stop.
I think, well, with the Stephanie thing, they finally got it right, because previous reporting, they seem to run with their own narrative. Oh, he's infatuated. He's in love. Oh, he's gonna challenge Booker, Triple H to a match, and somebody's gonna win Stephanie. They were all into the sensationalism of that nonsense. But
man, listen,
right? A Stephanie on a pole match. They thought that y'all were gonna.
Come on, man.
But
this is why us as wrestlers sit back and laugh at all of this dumb stuff. And when we tell people don't believe the dirt sheets because they're not right at all, and then when we start naming the dirt sheets that aren't right, then you get mad at us and I'll sue you. You're messing with my business. No, you're trying to ruin my reputation when you don't have to, for no reason whatsoever. You're trying to put shit out that's not even true.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now on the other front, on the Dixie front, you spoke of her more positively than most people do when they mention Dixie. So I think that the interest in that, what you said, really centered around, oh, somebody's actually saying something positive about her for a change. You know what I mean?
I
So,
got so you
you
know the
know,
funny part about it is I got something that would go viral again, but I ain't gonna say it.
oh no, oh no.
I ain't gonna say because me and Dixie laugh about every time we talked about this certain situation, we would just laugh about it, and we were like, "Man, if only people would only knew." But I ain't gonna bring it up.
All right, so we're gonna
Bring
we're
it up.
gonna have to
I'll bring it up off the air
we
because I was surprised when we saw each other and we started reconnecting. You know, me and her husband and her and Hope, and she brought it up, and I was like, "Oh wow, you remember that?" She goes, "Hell yeah, dude." She goes, "I gotta find that footage." I was like, "Yeah, when you find it, send it to me and let me know."
well. That's an interesting thing because I did some digging around and I noticed on Dixie's Internet Movie Database page, IMDb, which you have your own as well. But the
Hmm.
the first photo, other than her main photo, is a photo of you and her,
Right.
which I thought was very very interesting. You know,
Well, it could have been because I mean, I never really went public and said anything that I was, upset with her or the company at the time. It was only until I got back to WWE was when I started in 2015. I started, saying how upset and displeased I was with that regime at the time. Because at that time, no idea I was ever going to go back there. And as far as I was concerned, I was back in WWE, and that was it. I wasn't going back there. So I pretty much said what I had to say in the social media about it. But, and then again, now look at how many years later, or what, 10 years later, and, I'm doing Bound for Glory. Me and Bubba, you know, um, the last time that we're going to see, the Hardy Boys in the ring with us. So, it's weird, but I don't even, I've never noticed that because I never looked at Dixie's page. But, Dixie and her husband just started laughing. We started cracking up at certain things that people would say and things like that. It's just hilarious to some of us how these dirt sheet writers say what they say to get people to look at their page or to, click onto their story. And we just eat it up. Sometimes shit is made up,
yeah,
because we know that if we make it up, you guys will print it. And then when the truth comes out about what really went down with the story, then you guys look like the idiots because what you printed and what you swore to be the truth because of what you heard wasn't the truth.
100%, 100%. Were you surprised? Because we talk about analytics and viral, and I'm always telling you, man, your brand is doing really really well. It's like it's hot right now, but I sent you a screenshot of just a taste of all the different articles, and then I sent you a couple of articles because you asked for it. Were you surprised you were getting that type of press last week?
Off of Dixie and Stephanie?
Well, just in general. I mean, let's be honest, man. You were Devon Dudley as a topic was a top 10 topic last week.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was surprised when you told me about it. You texted me because you were out with your lady and you were out to dinner, and you texted me about it and told me what was going on because I don't really look at social media like that to know who's trending and who's not. I wouldn't even know where to go to find that out. So when you text me that, I was like, oh, okay. Um, I was kind of taken back by it. I was like, I remember when you text me, I go, oh man, well now what are they saying?
What did I do this time?
What did I do this time? Damn. I was like, I'm not even wrestling no more. And you guys are still trying to make me relevant in some negative way whatsoever. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is with these guys.
I just, to all the wrestlers out there, because this is the thing, a lot of the wrestlers, a lot of the indie guys listen to the show, which I appreciate. And, I've interviewed them through the years, so they know that this is friendly to them. But for you younger guys, Devon Dudley, 30 plus years in the business, and he's still topical. he's still getting coverage. What he says still matters to the point where websites know that he's newsworthy. What are you going to do in order to make yourself that relevant in 10, 15, 20, 30 years? Just think about that,
I,
folks. Think
I
about
tell you what you could do: make a mistake and use the wrong word when you're referring to Stephanie McMahon. How you admire her, that'll keep you going.
it. That's one way.
That's one way to do it. And then you have a bunch of people going, "Hey, Triple H is going to kill you. He
Yeah.
mess up your career because you talking about Stephanie McMahon."
Well,
And
well,
then when and then it's funny because when you hear what was said and how I said it, because I listened to it like 2 or 3 times, after it had trended the first time, I was like, don't see how that was taken out of context, but okay, and how they just ran with it.
they
Okay,
ran.
not a
Yeah.
problem,
They ran.
not a problem.
They pulled a Usain Bolt. They ran the whole race with it, boy.
Yeah, they did.
Jesus, you know. But speaking of Triple H, there was a photo that was circulated. Um, Triple H and Stephanie were on a yacht doing a family vacation,
Yes, I saw that.
and he had his shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
And Triple H, quite frankly, looks like a very fit person his age. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that I interpret it. It's like, damn, when I get his age, I want to look like that, hopefully. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He he
Absolutely.
he has a dad bod. We could call it that, but it's a fit dad bod. But these humanoids have been all over the internet talking trash about how Triple H looks physically. Now, oh, look at him. He's out of shape. And this. Now, mind you, this is a man with a pacemaker.
Well, not
And
only that, let me ask you a question. How old is he?
I know
He's got to be, because if I'm 53,
he's at
he's
least
got to
50.
be. Yeah, no, I know he's 50, but I know he's older than me, but he's a few years older than me. So he's at 56, 57, maybe.
You're
I
right.
mean,
You're right. He just turned
sh
56.
right, 56. So please show me the average 56-year-old that even remotely looks like Triple H right now,
They
because they
don't.
don't.
They don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
So come on, the man's 56 years old. Do you want him? How can he possibly keep looking like he did in the Attitude Era? You can't. It's almost physically impossible. Not to mention, like you said, he has a pacemaker. Leave the man alone. At least he looks good for 56 years old. I dare you to look in the mirror and tell me you look as good as Triple H does. Because you probably don't. These idiots that are saying that, I guarantee you, if they're taking off their shirt, they ain't winning no bodybuilding contest. Trust me. At least Triple H has pictures, videos, and all of that to show what he did when he was younger. And as he got older, he still looks great.
Looks
So,
great.
I mean, again, forget all those people that are saying negative crap about him. And again, I'm not defending him because I have a Legends deal or I want to be back with the company. Trust me. I don't want to wrestle for WWE again. Them guys hit way too damn hard now. So uh, I see stuff that they do in that ring right now. I'm like, man, I'm glad I retired.
So
I'm like,
wait,
I don't want
you don't
nobody
want
that.
Gunter to give you one of those chops? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, I'm afraid if Gunter chopped me, my heart would stop.
And you see the
you know,
aftermath, the people all black and blue after every match with him. Jesus.
listen, 25 to 35-year-old Devon, absolutely. All day, all night. 53-year-old Devon, nah, nope. I wouldn't even want to take a chop from Ric Flair.
Oh, and you know he'd lay it in. Jesus, you already
The
know that.
Flair will lay it in. Trust me.
Yeah,
I've been in the ring with Flair, so I know.
which what an honor. That is incredible. That is, but if you look at that photo of Triple H and you look at his left chest, you can literally see the outline of the pacemaker. So you want a man who literally almost died as his whole body was shutting down. You want a man like that to do what? Pump himself full of drugs to be all muscular to just to satisfy your weird cravings out there, folks? Come on, stop it. Stop it
And
right now.
you hit the nail right on the button because that's what it is.
They're
You know,
crazy.
listen, yesterday is gone. It's not here anymore.
Yeah.
As we get older, Father Time catches up to all of us.
Yep.
But here's the deal. Father Time, he might have caught up to Triple H a little bit, but Triple H is staying ahead of the game and still looks great.
Looks great.
So please, no plastic surgery, no nothing. The man's having a good time. He's running a major company like the WWE. And what else do you want from this man? How, this is it makes me so angry. the way people are. It's like we give our blood, sweat, and tears to the fans and to the business, and you make stupid remarks like that. You say things like that. What else more do you want from us? Okay. At least, Triple H is still a part of the business and still making headlines, doing what he's doing for the WWE and, just wrestling in general. He's still on top of his game. He may not be in the ring anymore, but he's outside the ring making things happen. People just get a life, man. Seriously, just get a effing life and stop the nonsense already.
And he's out there on a nice yacht with his gorgeous wife in her bikini and all that good stuff. Listen,
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. He's on a yacht with his wife and his family. I'm sorry. Show me in your life where you're on a yacht with your wife and kids, enjoying life, and have the success and money that man has. You know, Next time Triple H goes out there with Stephanie and his kids on a big yacht like that, he take off his shirt, hold up his middle fingers, and go "F you." You don't like it? Check my bank account. F
woo,
you.
woo. I love it. I love it. Speaking of, since you're all fired up now, we got to keep this going now. One
You
of your good friends,
Oh
someone that
boy.
you've known pretty much her entire career,
Mm.
Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, has just made a big announcement that she and Big Jimmy Uso, are expecting a child. So, what do you say there, Devon? How do you feel about Naomi being pregnant?
Well, let me just say this. Hopefully I get the words right because I love both of them. I'm very happy and very, very, very happy for both of them. Again, couldn't happen couldn't happen to two better people. I mean, I know she has wanted to I know she had wanted to become a mom for a long time, but she put her career, she put the baby on hold for a while, having a baby on hold so she could have her career and things like that. So, I'm very happy that they're finally going to get that. Now, yeah, is it wrong timing? Yeah, the only one that can answer that is Naomi, because she was just rebranding herself and just really, really coming out there in her own and just really doing it. The heel character, which I didn't think she would be able to pull off. And I say that because she's such a nice person. Trinity is a phenomenal person. I mean, she's got a heart of gold. She's a sweetheart. She's just a genuinely nice person. And people like that is very hard to go from a babyface to a heel because you know that they're such a good person. You just can't believe that they would be that type of heel. But, it just proves that what she can do for the business in terms of the way she acted as a heel. She made me believe it at some point that maybe there was a little bit of that in Naomi. But, she did a great job. And, you know, I almost would have liked to have seen her maybe put this on hold for a little longer because I was really interested in seeing where the character was going to go and what she was going to do with everything that was going on. But, God called and said, Up, no, we're giving you a baby. And Big Jim was like, let me help out.
And he sure did.
He sure did. And I
Yep.
think she said that best
Yeah.
in her promo. I forgot what she said, but she made reference to it. And again, I'm happy for those guys. I'm happy for them. God, I'm happy for them. They're gonna start their family. They're gonna have their child, their first child, and man, hey, you never know. It could be like another Becky Lynch. Where she goes away, she announces that she's pregnant. When she had the title and all of that, she goes away. She comes
Yep.
back, and
Yep.
she'll be
I think
bigger than
so. I
ever.
think that's exactly how it's going to go. I'll tell you, Devon, one of the things that I was concerned about, um, when you dedicate your time in this space to interviewing people and doing real interviews and really getting to the heart of who people are and what's going on and what have you, you really pay attention to the things that they say, especially the challenges that they have in life. And let's not forget that not that long ago, Trinity had to take some time off from wrestling entirely because she had some issues with, I think she had like a cyst on her ovaries or something like that. There were some issues there, right? And that can complicate things.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. She was dealing with that
I
stuff.
didn't know
Man.
that.
She was dealing with that stuff. She put it out there after the fact. She explained after the fact what it was. So I'm not breaking any news there. But my point is, if you know anybody who's had to go through that type of stuff, it's serious business, man. And we're talking about a lady here. We're talking about a woman. Potentially not being able to bear children is devastating. And it's really a sensitive topic, so you got to be careful with people. I was very disappointed in the inquiries out there. Oh, why did she not make it to Raw the other day? And oh, is she pregnant? Is she pregnant? It's like, hey, be careful with that, because for somebody who's gone through that medically, being pregnant and going through with a pregnancy is a big challenge. It's a big challenge. And it's not an easy road, man. So they're not going to announce unless they're really sure, first of all. And second of all, there's a lot of precautions that have to be put in place just to make sure that everyone stays healthy throughout the process and stuff like that. Folks, we are not entitled to knowing the full medical scope of these performers. It's none of our business. If they want to share it with us, great. But to be speculating and digging and prodding and demanding, it really kind of pissed me off, to be honest with you, Devon. You know what I mean? People acting as if they're entitled to know if she's pregnant or not. It's crazy to me. You know?
I don't know why I really don't know why they feel that they should know. It's none of your business whether she is or not. Why can't I don't understand. I'm really trying to figure out this world. I really am, because it just makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense. You feel entitlement. Why? It's like, why? Why do you feel entitled? Like, you need to know. You don't need to know jack. Mind your goddamn business and just leave it alone. You know?
And again, I mean, she had fibroids. That's what it was. She had fibroids, and she had to have surgery on that. That's very painful. It's devastating, again, because you're essentially told you're probably not going to be able to have kids as a result of a condition like that. You know what I mean?
If that's the case, then think about it. Now she's having a baby.
Miracle.
I
Miracle.
can't be more happier for it. And you hear cases about that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, people that are told that they'll never have kids and things like that, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Yep. It's true. It's true. That's another reason why, you know, I stay away from the whole, oh, well, how come you're not pregnant? Or when are you going to have kids? I stay away from that stuff, man. I stay away from that stuff. I don't talk to people that way because, again, you don't know what people are dealing with. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
so you just got to leave that alone. But that's a miracle, man. And God bless the both of them, and soon to be the three of them. It's awesome. Awesome stuff there. And I know when she comes back, she's going to be better than ever, because I just watched Becky Lynch on SmackDown get a amazing ovation because they were in Ireland. She got an amazing ovation, and then she managed to turn the crowd against her because she's a heel, and she put all of the babyface heat onto Tiffany Stratton. And I was saying to my lady as we were watching, I was like, look at the skill that Becky Lynch has, where she's able to, in her own home country that hardly ever gets WWE live programming, to be able to have the crowd loving you and loving on you and all that stuff, and then you're able to turn them against you just to put over your opponent. That's pretty fantastic. You know, that's pretty fantastic. So I'm expecting nothing less from Naomi when she comes back, but wish her. She's 20 weeks pregnant too, man. So that means that, you know, some of these matches that she's had over the past couple of months, she had the baby in there while she's banging and bumping and all that stuff, you know.
Listen,
which
she
is
can
wild.
tell the baby when it comes born. When she can tell the baby when, you know, the baby's first born. Listen, I was up there kicking ass when I had you in my belly. I don't play. I'm telling you right now.
Well, listen, the baby already performed at SummerSlam.
I'm pregnant.
The baby already performed at SummerSlam. They're already a superstar.
First, first match ever at SummerSlam. Baby and mom at SummerSlam.
I
That's a
love it.
first.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Now, listen, word on the street is that you have an apology to give. So I'm going to give you some room here.
Brian from WrestleCade, we had some issues in the past because things that were said. And come to find out that the words that were said didn't come from Brian. And I was very disturbed by where I found out when I found out where it did come from. But again, no need to talk about that. I will say this, apology to, oh, that's my son, so he's upset too. The baby's sitting up here next to me. But no, but my apologies go out to Brian, but Brian understood why, because when things were asked of him of who said what about me and everybody that was involved in it, basically, he didn't want to say anything. He wanted to keep quiet because it was quite disturbing where the comments came from. And when it was told to me, I understood. Now I understand why. So, my thing is, me and Brian buried the hatchet, and, Brian is, you know, came to me and told me why he didn't want to tell me when I asked him who came up with these comments and who said the things that they said. I completely understand why he didn't tell me. And again, we talked for about a good 20 minutes on the phone, me and a mutual person who put us on three-way, who actually got us together. I saw text messages and things like that that would confirm Brian's story. So I do retract some of the things that was said, and me and Brian again buried the hatchet, and now I guess I'll be at WrestleCade this year.
Wow, that's a happy
Yeah.
ending to that story. So you'll be back at WrestleCade.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Again, we talked, and he's basically, again, he apologized again for all of this, and I apologize to him, and it takes real men to sit up there and apologize to each other, and that's exactly what we did. So no longer is there heat between Brian and I. We buried it, and we're moving on. And from now on, we will talk to each other. If there's a problem, or if someone else tries to come in the mix and try to say he say she say crap, where that always gets you in trouble, unfortunately. And that's where everything kind of went south with Brian and I, because things that were said, it was given back secondhand, third hand about, again, it was the he say she say. Well, this person said this about you, that person said that, and when the person that came to me and told me was the original culprit. So, again, it is what it is. Me and Brian has moved on, and we'll just go from there.
Holding yourself accountable, bro. I respect it. I respect it all the way. That's good stuff.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff there. So we got some breaking news here. WWE.
I didn't do it. I needed the money.
Which one is it now? Is it I didn't do it, or I needed the money? Which one is it?
A little of both. You know how the dirt sheet writers are.
I will put you on the witness stand.
I remember. Listen, I remember I had a podcast called Table Talk before we started doing ours, and I remember I was joking around. I said something about being on the RuPaul Drag Queen show, and it was clearly, you could tell we were all joking around about it. And sure enough, what was it, about a week later, Devon said he was going to be on the RuPaul Drag Queen show, and he's come out the closet and said he's gay. And I was like, what? I said, what the hell is this going on? So this is why you got to be extra careful, because these guys just take, even jokes between you and other people that you have on the show and just run with it.
Yeah,
Say that,
they go.
So that's why I got to be careful when I say I did it for the money.
I love it. I love it. As long as you're not saying the Limp Biscuit, I did it all for the nookie. Remember that? As long as we
Yeah,
ain't saying that. Remember that song?
exactly.
you
And I
know.
got to make this perfectly clear because they'll run with this. Not saying that there's anything wrong with being gay. No, my brother's gay. I've got friends that are gay. That's fine, but I'm not. That's it. So, when they started that rumor, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I remember Paul Heyman said to me, he goes, Devon, somebody wants to do an interview with you. I said, oh, okay. I was like, why are they calling you? He said, because they, he said, because they just found out that you just came out the closet. I was like, what?
I did.
Yeah. I was like, I came out the closet. What do you mean came out the closet? What closet? And he was like, Devon. I was like, what? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, Paul. I was like, come on. He was like, did you go on an interview and say that you were on a RuPaul drag queen show? I said, it was a damn joke between me and the co-host, the two co-hosts that was on there. I was like, are you serious? They actually ran with that? He was like, oh yeah, the guy wants to do an interview with you and wants to know because I guess this was at the time too when Darren Young came out
Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
said that he was gay from I guess it was TMZ News or something like that. And they said, I was like, Paul, no, I'm not gay. I'm happily married with kids. I've always been a heterosexual male. Please stop the nonsense, guys.
Bro,
Come
they
on,
they
man.
put that in your Wikipedia at one point. Remember that? They actually
Yes,
put,
they did. They said I was gay. I was like, what the hell?
they said in such and such
Uh,
year, Devon came out as gay. Because I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, okay. Wait, what?
so, yeah, somebody told me that, and I went, what? They did what?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I mean, listen. If you guys want to run with a story, here's a story. I was camping out in Tennessee, and I happened to come out of my tent, and I saw Bigfoot. And me and Bigfoot, we had a party. We decided we're gonna go to a strip club together and throw a couple of ones and see what we can get. So there you go. There's your story.
Whew.
Let's see if that goes viral.
Well,
So
that
I went to a strip. I went to a strip club with Bigfoot and not Big Show, Bigfoot. FOOT, Bigfoot. And we went to a strip club and threw some singles out, some strippers. So there you go. Let's see if that story runs.
listen, that's a lot more believable in 2025 than you realize. All right, we got a lot going on
You
here.
ain't lying.
We got a lot going on. But let me get back to this. The first breaking news here: WWE starting September 20th will be airing all non NXT PLEs on ESPN. So
Mhm.
for everybody out there, programming note here: literally in 1 month, if you want to watch WWE PLEs, Survivor Series, Hell in the Cell, Royal Rumble, Mania, the whole SummerSlam, the whole 9 yards here, you're going to have to subscribe to ESPN in some form or fashion in order to be able to watch them. What are your thoughts on that?
It's huge. I mean, look, I never ever thought in a million years that this company would ever get to that type of revenue, or I should say, this type of business. It's incredible. And, again, it's a testament not only to what they're doing today, but the whole setup, with Vince McMahon. I mean, he started all of this, and I get it. People will say, oh, don't give him credit and this number wrong. But yeah, I agree. I agree, DJ. Uh, where would we be if he didn't start this, this ride with everybody? So it's an amazing thing to see what's going on now and the money that is being generated. Look, these guys are finally now getting paid the money that a lot of them should be getting paid. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little envious because I would have loved to been able to make that type of money right off the bat, as opposed to going 3 and 4 years into it and then making the money. But these guys are being able to make it. Again, each generation is different when it comes to how money's being made. Because again, the Hogan and Andre era, they had the amount of money that is being generated now. They would have to work for that company for years in order to make that type of money. But now they do it within a year of signing the contract. Just depending on who you are and what you're doing. I mean, again, you hear the old stories about if you didn't work, you didn't get paid. Now there's guaranteed money, just like the NBA and the NFL. in Major League Baseball. You get guaranteed money now. Now, it's just a great thing now, man. It really is. These wrestlers are really now getting paid for putting their bodies on the line and doing what they're doing. They're starting to get their just due.
I love it. I love it. It's so fantastic, and like you said, it's a testament to all of the contributions that all of you, whoever worked for that company, have contributed. But especially Vince McMahon. I mean, this is his baby that's been born into a pretty healthy adult. Let's say that. You know what I mean?
I
That
mean,
company.
in my in my opinion, Duke, it's always going to be Vince's baby. Nothing, I'm not taking anything away from Nick and Paul, but again, without Vince, we would not be talking about the WWE and everything that he's done to get it to this level. I mean, you still got to give Vince credit because again, he took chances when nobody else would have taken chances with what he did to make this company what it was before he left. So, and the thing about it is, Nick and Paul actually took over where he left off. So, kudos to those guys, kudos to Vince, kudos to the talent that helped build the WWE, when the WWE was called WWF, going back to, of course, the late great Hulk Hogan, the Macho Man Randy Savage, Roddy Piper, Jake the Snake Roberts, Don Morocco, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Ace Cowboy Bob Orton. I mean, I can sit here and King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, Andre the Giant. I can sit here and talk about everybody that made the WWE what it is today. So good. My hat goes off to them, and I'm happy and proud that those guys are bringing in that type of money and bringing in that revenue that they're bringing in now.
Here, here, absolutely, absolutely. So hopefully this translates into more people getting paid more money. That's always good. But it just goes back to everybody wants to be in the WWE business. Everybody wants WWE
Listen,
programming, all of that.
maybe I should come out of retirement and do one more run.
Listen, you're going to start a lot of trouble, man. You're going to start a lot of trouble. You keep talking like this because somebody going to put some money in your pocket and make you do it. You know what I mean?
Listen. I think that old Nike slogan, just do it. Just do it. Show me the money. Just
Yeah,
do it.
just do it. Just do it. Because I don't know, man. The Devon Dudley train is running pretty wild out there, and I would not be surprised. Look, think
Listen, I'm still having babies now, so I need that money. Come on.
because you got a long way to go before the last one goes to college. That's a good point. Now,
Uh,
that's a good
yeah,
point.
17 years from now. And I love
Yeah,
every bit of it, man. Me being a father at, when I think he was, how old was I? 20, I'm 53 now. So I was 52 when he was born. I'm sorry, I was 51. I was 51 when he was born. And, I'll be honest with you, one of the greatest things that I could have ever done. Not no, at 52, people are like, oh my God, 51, oh my God, you're 50 years old. Listen, I love kids. I love them when they're babies. I love them when they're 8 years old and starting to talk back to you. I love them as teenagers because then I can beat them up and get away with it. uh, no, but I love them as adults. I love watching them grow and become the fine young men and women that they become. I just love kids, and this is why I have 7 kids. And there's no regrets. You go, oh my God, 7 kids, that's a lot of kids. What people don't understand is 4 of my kids are already grown,
Mm.
so I only got three. I only got three that's in the house now, So I have my 7-year-old daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, and my almost 2-year-old son. And people go, "Oh, that's a lot." But for you, it's a lot. For me, it's nothing. I love it.
you
I
you
absolutely love it.
you got a whole basketball team over there. That's just the way it is, man. You know.
Yes, I do. And again, come Thanksgiving, come Christmas, my house is filled. It'll never go empty. So I'm happy about that. And seeing this little peanut, I call him, sitting next to me right now while I do the show. He's my pride and joy. I love all my kids the same. Never had any favorites. But this little guy right here, man, he steals our hearts.
This is incredible. I love, man. You got a lot of love you sharing this week, huh?
Oh yeah, man. Again, I love every bit of these guys. I really do. They are my pride and joy. They're the ones that keep me going. I used to tell people all the time, how do you take those chair shots in ECW and things like that? I said, well, I had, twin boys, Terrence and Terrell, who I wanted to take care of and made sure that their lives were secure. And every time, I would hurt or couldn't get up, I'd think about them and pop right up.
This is awesome. The Father of the Year, Devon Dudley over here, folks. I'm trying to tell you something now. You know
I don't know
who.
about father. There's a lot of fathers out there that like me. You don't hear too much about them, but they're out there.
Well,
I just have a platform where I can put it out there.
I'm gonna tell the Hardy Boys right now. Make sure your kids are there to watch you get the whooping of a lifetime. So they know they can always say, Dad, if you keep messing with me, I'm gonna get Uncle Devon, I'm gonna get Uncle Bubba after you. Make sure your kids are there. Go put that out there. Listen, I'm gonna keep starting trouble with that, bro. You already know.
Look,
You know.
especially Jeff. Because Jeff. Every time I see Jeff now, he laughs at me. He goes, Devon, you want to hang? I go F you, Jeff. I ain't hanging with you nowhere ever again. I was like, F you. He laughs, he cracks up. He thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. I said, I'm gonna stop doing interviews and saying this because you're getting the crack out of all of this crap.
That's
I was
it.
like, you scared me half to death.
You want to hang? He's full of crap. Listen to him. You want to hang? Come on, man.
I was like, just because you got 10 lives don't mean that I do. Shit, I don't even have 9 lives. Your ass got 10.
Yeah, and he's still going.
You got one up, still going.
Yeah,
And I said something, I don't know how the hell he still goes in his body. He still does the things that he does. Good God, my body would have been screaming a long time ago. Please stop.
that dude is on another level, man. He might be from outer
Yes, he is.
space. You know.
Yep.
Speaking of outer space, listen to this now. Here we go. I'm about to throw something at you that you probably don't even know, Devon.
Talk to me.
There is an object that had been discovered by astronomers back in July of this year, and it's identified as an interstellar object that's moving through our solar system at an unusually high speed. Now, they've identified this object. They're calling it 3I Atlas. And a group of scientists, astrophysicists, by the way, are concerned that this may be an extraterrestrial spacecraft that is essentially mapping our solar system. He says one of the guys says it's an unusual size, retrograde orbit, and its acceleration, the speed at which it moves, is evidence of some type of technology being used. It may be nuclear powered, quite frankly. So, Devon, you and I have never spoken about outer space and aliens or anything like that, but this is probably the most compelling evidence that we've ever had that there may be life out there. And not only that, that life is actually looking for something. It may stumble across us. What are your thoughts on the possibility that there's an alien spacecraft that is out there floating around that close to us?
Me and Bubba used to have these talks sometimes when we had long car rides. You can't, yeah, I mean, believe it or not, but me and Bubba used to have some interesting conversations. And believe it or not, I mean, that was one of them. And the Bible was another.
Mm,
Bubba and I used to have conversations about, and of course I knew a little bit more than Bubba. So he would ask me questions and I would, break it down to him. But we can't honestly think that we're the only ones here. You got to be very foolish to think that. If you believe in God and things like that, you're gonna sit there and tell me that God only made Earth and put people here and that was it. There's a reason why that you can't go that far out to find anybody else. Maybe because he doesn't want you to find anybody else yet. Maybe the time is coming where we're gonna find out that there's things out there other than us. I just find it hard pressed for you to think that we're the only ones here. We're not the only ones here. We think we are, but we're not. There might be other places that they get it. They get it right, and they're actually doing, what they're supposed to do to keep their planet safe and sound and all of that. Maybe the people over there, if they're called people, maybe they're the real deal. Maybe, they know how to survive and keep things going and not live in this crazy world that we live in right now.
I'm going to tell you right now, man. I have a theory about this whole thing because we've come to realize that our galaxy is just one of many galaxies, and when we say galaxies, we literally mean all the planets for the most part that we can see within our solar system. But what happens if
Hmm.
we're just one of many? There are countless galaxies out there. So just like you said, statistically, it's improbable that we're the only life forms that exist. So my theory is that we're part of a body. What if space is just literally a body of a living organism, and all the planets and things like that are just molecules? There's something bigger and greater and what have you, and we're just like a tiny grain of sand as a planet amongst umpteenth, grains of sand in this body. And what if the body is God? So
You just
what's
you
that?
don't know. You just don't
You
know.
just
You
don't
just
know.
don't know.
But we're getting into a scary period in life where with the quantum computers and the AI and the advances in different forms of technology, we're starting to get answers like we've never gotten them before. And I would not be surprised, Devon, in our lifetime if it's possible to actually visit another planet commercially. Like literally we could take a tour and visit a planet for a day. I wouldn't be surprised. At least the
You
moon. I wouldn't be surprised.
know, another thing, me and Bubba, we discussed, I forgot how we brought it, how we said it, but it was like, we always talk about heaven and hell, but let's just say, not talk about hell, let's just say heaven. What if, in another galaxy where heaven is somewhere else and God just takes you when you die in your soul and re-puts you over there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
puts you over there. You never know.
Yeah.
you know, because the Bible says, there's going to be a new earth. There's going to be a new something where everybody who is in the book of life and everybody that God, was going to bring over is going to bring over to that place. And that's where you're going to be. Who's to say that that place isn't already formed with our grandmothers and, uncles and brothers and sisters that have passed on from this world? Maybe they're at that world. Put it in perspective. You just don't know. And again, maybe they're getting it right over there.
What if you get to relive your life just on another planet?
And you realize the mistakes that you've done. And now you can, as opposed to you going to that other planet, reliving your life, instead of your memory going blank, like you don't have any recollection of what you've done here. Maybe you go to this another, this planet, and you do have recollection. So maybe this is God's way of saying, okay, you know what you did wrong. Now let's see if you would fix it and put you over there. You
Wouldn't
just
that be
never
heaven?
know.
Wouldn't that be heaven?
That that would be great. I think that'd be more than I think it would be phenomenal. Because again, we've all made mistakes. We all wish that we can go back. We all wish that, we can do things. Who's to say that you can't?
Mm.
Who's to say that God wouldn't put you there? There's so many things that the mind can, think about in terms of stuff like that. But who's to say it doesn't work that way?
It's deep.
Heaven could be somewhere else. Yeah, it really is deep. There's so many things, so many conversations that you could have with somebody that has probably looked into it more deeper than we could ever look into it.
Sure. Sure. I always wonder about this though. If there is an alien spacecraft, for lack of a better term, and it is in our solar system, and let's say they are coming up, they want to observe Earth, no different from how we're observing other planets and things like that with our spacecraft out there. We know as human beings, history has proven to us that when outsiders go into a new territory, either the people who belong to that territory or the outsider, somebody's going to attack somebody. That is human nature. That's what history has shown us is inevitable. So here's my question to you, Devon. You got 7 kids. They got long lives to live, way beyond us. If you had the decision to make, do you allow the alien spacecraft to get close enough to Earth to actually land on Earth, or do you shoot it down?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I'm on you on this one now. See, we got the Pilgrims. We got the Pilgrims landing, on Plymouth Rock, and we got the Native Americans already here. The natives welcomed them, and then they ended up slaughtering the natives and enslaving them and stuff like that. So history has shown us why you have to be mistrusting of strangers, so to speak. But we also have situations where the natives drove off the strangers because it's like, no, you ain't coming here for that. I believe that our leaders would shoot the aircraft down. I don't think they would allow it to come here. But would you allow it?
Because of fear.
Because of fear. But what about you? How trusting are you?
I don't know. I mean, again, I would say yes, and then I could say no. I don't know. I mean, this is what society does to you. It puts fear for no reason. That's like asking the question, a racist person back in the 50s and 60s, they were racist and did not like black people for the simple fact because they didn't take the time to understand black people. They didn't take the knowledge to know what we were about. So they didn't know. They were only hearing stories of what their grandfathers and great grandfathers in history has told them. They never really sat down with a black man or a black woman to find out what we were about and how we really were. They didn't take the time to learn our culture. We were forced to learn everybody else's culture, but our own. So, again, when you have these racist people out there that have no idea about us being African American, or the correct word and what we like to say is black people, why is that, an issue? Why is that a problem? Because again, it should not be. There should not be fear. If you understand, then there should not be any fear. And that's the thing. People fear what they don't understand.
Absolutely.
I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
People fear what they don't understand. And so for me to shoot down something that might come to Earth and I don't know what it is, why? Because I don't know. That's what they've done here on Earth. They made you programmed to do that.
Yeah.
Because if we don't know what it is, then guess what? We're going to shoot it down. We're going to take it hostage. We're going to keep it, and run all sorts of tests and see what they got. For what? Suppose you went to that planet and did the same thing, and you landed on there. Would you want them to experiment you and cut you open? No.
Wow. Good point.
It's not right.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, and you just don't know. You don't fear, and you can't fear something that you understand, but you fear things that you don't understand.
Yep.
And that's what happens if you think about a lot of, the 40s, 50s, and 60s. That's what was going on with a lot of people during the race wars and all of that. They didn't understand. They were just going by generation to generation of what they were being told about black people and how they should treat us a certain way and not give us rights to do this and this because we're not human beings or what have you. And it went down from generation to generation. And then, of course, when you had those that said, wait a minute, why am I fearing black people when I have no idea about them? Maybe I should get to learn. And those people were criticized because they did that. But think about the ones that did make a difference and did change the way society is now.
Well said. Well said. And it's ironic because, that leads me to another good point here. Shout out to your man, R-Truth. Ron the Truth Killings. He was actually able to debut on the Billboard Country Albums charts. It's amazing. I think he was in the top 15, his latest album. So Truth put out a country album. It's country rap. So it's a modernized version of the country, but it's still a country album. When you talk about the racism that this country has gone through the years, to fast forward to 2025, if you took somebody from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, from the 1800s, 1700s, and you plucked them, dropped them in 2025, and R-Truth is one of the most popular country artists with an album out right now, I'm sure their head would explode. Right? It's like,
listen, when I saw the movie Ray, of course, about Ray Charles being portrayed by Jamie Foxx, I had no idea that Ray Charles did country music. The majority of his music was country music. I had no idea until I
he had
saw
the
the
number one
movie.
country album, bro. He had the number one country album in the
Yeah,
nation.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to me. So this whole thing, again, it's all about not understanding and not trying to understand. This world could be such a better place, but yet we single out somebody's color, nationality, things like that in order to determine what type of person this person is. And it's wrong. Regardless of how many people have said it's wrong, but it's wrong. And never have we ever tried to fix it. We say we try, but we don't. We don't try. We don't really try. I mean, again, does it matter whether the person's color, skin? It shouldn't matter. But because we don't understand, we fear. And when we fear, that's when wrong is being about to be done.
It's true. It's true. Now, listen, my lady asked me this question here, Devon. So I'm gonna put you on the spot and ask you this. Now that R-Truth is a big time country artist, because we're not talking just regular charts. We're talking Billboard. That's it. That's the big one. So he had to have sold enough albums or had enough digital plays in order to debut that high up on the charts there. So now that R-Truth is doing it, when are we going to get the Devon Dudley country album?
Man, listen, I better learn how to hit a note first before I even think about doing some damn country music.
Come on now.
You don't want to. No, you don't want. I used to sing in the choir and things like that in church, and then I got to ECW and I started screaming and yelling, not knowing how to use my vocals,
Yeah.
my vocal cords correctly and all that. I lost my debut. If you go back and look at it, um, April 13th, 1996, Queens Lost Battalion Hall, when I ran in and I was introduced for the first time, I basically lost my voice. I came down there, I'm screaming and yelling, "Thou shalt not F with I'm screaming. The crowd was like crazy that night. And I got caught up into it and completely lost my voice. I was supposed to cut a promo after all the chaos, and I couldn't speak.
Wow.
I literally, I literally lost my voice. All the yelling and screaming and trying to be talking with the fans. And at one point, I was able to hold notes and everything, singing. Like I said, I sang in the choir, and then after a few years in ECW, lost it because I damaged my vocal cords,
So
and to the point where I couldn't hit those notes anymore.
so no duets with R-Truth. He ain't gonna be putting out the country album.
If I do, listen, I'll be speaking and he'll be singing.
Listen, congratulations, Truth. Seriously, man, it is a major honor to be able to debut so high on the Billboard charts, and it's country. It's country music, man. That's I'm blown away by it. That's good stuff there. So definitely wanted to get that in. One more, Brian Jossie. So he was Abraham Washington in the WWE. In fact, he was the original manager for Crime Time. Brian Jossie had some serious health issues last month. He was in the hospital for a while. He went in for one thing, and then other things started happening. Next thing you know, they had him on life support at one point. He spent almost a month in the hospital, and his lovely lady, Marnay, was there by his side the whole way. To make a long story short, he recently was discharged. He's back home. and he's actually able to walk on his own and everything. So almost a full recovery for this guy, and he's a bodybuilder and all that stuff, man. In fact, he just won a tournament right before he had to go into the hospital, so he's all muscled up, all that. But just want to give a shout out to Brian Jossie and his family, and just let him know, man, you can't stop a stepper, brother. Keep going. Thank God you're okay. Thank God that you were able to overcome those challenges, right?
Absolutely. My prayers and thoughts are with you on an even more speedy recovery and you right back to normal where you once were before all of this. God bless you, my brother.
Yeah, God bless Brian for sure. Folks on Instagram, Brian Jossie, Jossie. Follow him, send him some words of encouragement, the whole 9 yards. Again, shout out to his lady Marnay. She was doing posts, updating everything, which was really, really challenging, bro, because I think he's going to come home tomorrow, and the next thing you know, they put him on life support. I don't know what's going on. Just the ebb and flow of that. Was tough, especially on the heels of losing Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? And which we're now realizing, and some information came out that it may be medical malpractice. Hulk Hogan's passing. It may not have been as natural as folks try to pass it off as at first. So,
Wow.
folks, be careful in these hospitals, man. Whoever your person is who's supposed to be looking out for you. They got to ask the right questions, and they got to stay on top of everything, because you never know.
Absolutely.
Dustin Rose caught some heat because he said hospitals sometimes kill people, and people gave Dustin a hard time for saying that. But now you realize, he may have a point there. Anyway,
I got. Hey, we better be careful. We might be trending on that. So
I was going to say that'll be the next thing. Devon and the Duke don't believe in hospitals. No, it ain't about that. It's just that trust but verify. Make sure you're looking out for your people. Anytime my mom or my sister have to go in for surgery or anything like that, my lady would have you. I stay on top of it all, man. I want to know everything. What's going on? How long it's going to take? What's happening? I need to know it all. You know what I mean? I got to stay on top of it, because you never know. But with that said, Devon, what's the best way everybody can keep up with you, man?
you go to my YouTube channel, Devon Dudley YouTube, and also Testify Devon on Instagram, as well as Twitter. Facebook is private. Don't really allow anybody unless you're family and friends, unless I've known you for over 30 something years. You've broken bread with me, been at my house, know my family. That's only on Facebook, but Testify Devon on Instagram. And again, the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and enjoy the videos.
Indeed. And folks, as always, Duke Loves Rasslin on Facebook, on Twitter, DukeLovesRasslin@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of the show. Send in your questions, shout outs, the whole 9 yards. Thank you to all of you out there who have continued to keep Devon and I viral. And in this landscape where there's so much going on, the fact that stuff that is said on this show matters enough that you folks keep talking about it, so it has to be covered by all of these dirt sheets and sports news and things like that. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive, but it doesn't happen without you. So keep spreading the word, folks, please. All right, it's that time of the week, brother. What do you got for the word of the week?
Well, I really didn't have one until I started talking about me and Brian at WrestleCade, but I'm gonna try to put it in my own words, and maybe you can understand it. Get all your facts straight first before you let your anger get the best of you. And what I mean by that is get everything down, know what the situation is first, because what you're being told may not be the truth.
Whew. Testify.
My brother.
Strictly for the culture every day. Step in style in your unique way. Patterns and colors so divine. All about the perfect line. Be yourself, let your spirit fly. In
visit www.strictlyfortheculture.ca.
Backstage whispers and the crowds roar, from matching giants to legends of yore. Devon's wisdom and Duke's keen view, every episode feels like it's brand new. Devon and Duke bring the heat, wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never